Oh,
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. The rain has gone.
You a bit.
I can see all obstacles in my way.
Please tell me you're not going to start the podcast with you singing, please.
It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Oh, excuse me, I'm putting you in mute the now. I blow my nose.
So a potential I'm going to say a potential butterskin there. That's I don't know what the fuck that is.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.
Manchester, brace yourself. Rangers are coming!
Hi everyone and welcome to the next episode of the Are You Ready podcast. As ever, I'm your host Derek and with me is my co-host Dave. How are you doing, Dave?
I'm very well, Derek. How's yourself?
Yes, I've got a wee bit of cough now. It might transpire throughout the podcast, so I might need to let you warble on for a change.
Aye, for a change, eh?
Yes, we've got a few games to cover. All positive results, very decent performances as well. Some controversy as ever, and then we'll get into the news, which is obviously controversial, some of it as well.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we'll go down the tunnel and onto the park. So, before we get into that, we need to do the usual thing, Dave. The transfer window slammed shut.
Yep, it did. A couple of bits of business that we done. Not the blockbuster signing that I think a lot of people were predicting and that we were all hoping for. But nevertheless, a few positions that have been filled in, certainly going by the very early signs that we've seen, I think they could be pretty decent players.
Yes. Anyway, no strikers were brought in. I think everyone wanted one, maybe apart from the manager, that is. I mean, granted, that's not to say that we weren't working on one and nothing panned out. I think ultimately Shankland was a non-starter. Hearts have since came out and said that it would have taken the Scottish transfer record for them to accept it. I mean, that's despite Shankland not signing 2 contract offers they put to him. I mean, we never confirmed that we were interested in him, and if we were, I'm glad we didn't pay the ransom. And because it's the kind of money that they were after for a player that's on the wrong side of 28, 18 months left in his contract, and let's face it, no real European experience, not value for money at this stage, was it?
Well, as I say, it's at this stage, you know, that it could be right. How the season pans out in the end, Derek, maybe if we'd had Shankland in the team, it might have helped us win the league and win trophies and stuff like that. I was really hoping that we would try and get that one over the line. I think it's all talk with Hearts this. It would have to have been the transfer record, you know, we would have to have broke the bank to bring him in. I think that's a nonsense. I think if it would have went in with a half decent offer for him, they would have went for it, because it's quite obvious, like you said, he's no signing his 2 contracts. It looks as if he's wanting to move himself, and I think if there was a concrete offer in there, he might have maybe tried to force it through. So I don't buy that at all. But regardless, it wasn't to be at this stage, Derek. We've not got him. He's not our player. But I do think it's something going by. He's certainly, we'll get into the games with the chances that we've been missing recently. An out-and-out striker is something that we definitely need, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, I mean, it does leave me slightly worried as we've only one fit number 9 just now, and I'm convinced if we had a recognised striker, a fit one, in that European final a couple of years ago, we would have won it. But
100%, yep.
Yeah, story
100%.
For another day.
Aye.
But anyway, the players that we did sign, we did mention this, it was rumoured, Mohamed Diomande has signed, 22-year-old midfielder, signed on loan till the end of the season from FC Nordistland, I think that's how you pronounce it, and we've got an obligation to buy for reportedly £4.5 million, so a big wedge there, if that's the case. But he's only had a fleeting appearance in the Aberdeen game, I think, and that was about it, so... Yeah,
a fleeting appearance, Derek, but like I've told you before, and I know you possibly think I'm talking shite, but I like to see something very, very early on from a player. A wee spark, something like that. He only had a very short period of time in that last game. But what I saw, I thought the guy looked excellent. I thought his touch, his awareness, his movement, everything about his play, even the fact that they will get into the red card. He was the first person over to the referee, shaking his head and going mental, saying, sticking up for the player. So for a guy that's just in the door, the very early signs for me look very, very good. And if we are prepared to pay that amount of money for a midfielder, then there must be something extra special about the guy. So I'm really excited to see how that pans out, Derek.
We said that about Lammers, though, didn't we?
I didn't know. I definitely didn't say that about Lammers, Derek. I really honestly didn't. And that is why I try to reserve judgment. But in early games, and I know that me and you speak a lot about pre-season, I said that to you at the time. I know it's only pre-season, but I like to see something from a player. And I never saw it for any of the players that we brought in the summer there. No spark at all. But I definitely did see it with him in that game. So, as I say, I'm quite positive about that one.
Next player that we signed was Colombian winger Oscar Cortez. He's signed on loan till the rest of the season from Lens with an option to buy, not an obligation this time. Mm-hmm. It was completed a few days before the window closed, but we left it until around 6 o'clock on deadline day to announce it. And sources at the time saying that that was it for this winter. So that was really it, Dave, in terms of the signings. Again, we've only seen him on a fleeting glance towards the end of the Aberdeen game, but decent so far. Know that you can tell much.
Again, Derek, like he's had more game time, but certainly what I've seen of him, he does look very lively. His work off the ball was excellent. He was able to drag players away, great touch. So I think we've got a good player there as well. The only thing I was a wee bit confused about, Derek, and I don't know if you had saw something else, every single report that I had seen on the guy when we were talking about him signing was that he was a right winger. And I thought to myself, well, that's a good addition because we've really only got McCausland out there. But so far he's only played on the left. So I don't know if he plays both wings or he is a natural left winger, but certainly going by all the reports I heard, he was a right winger. So it remains to be seen because we're still to see him play in that position. But were you under that impression as well, Derek, or did you just think he was a left winger like he's been getting played out there?
I just heard Colombian winger, and that was
was
it, Dave. So I'm not too sure. We'll obviously see in due course. We do play players out of position at times as well. So maybe that was just one of these things, just fitting in to give him game time. We apparently were set to sign Brazilian left back Jefty. However you pronounce it, from Fluminense. It was even endorsed by Fabrizio Romano as well, so there was obviously something behind it. However, he's currently on loan to Apoel Nicosia. There was no recall on his loan contract, and they didn't want to let him go because they currently have a transfer ban, so they wouldn't be able to get cover for him. It's allegedly set that it's going to go through in the summer, however, so I'm not sure if then that put a stall on Ridvan going, which was supposedly meant to happen, but we'll wait and see into the summer to see if this happens or not, and it might mean a wee bit of move. Bearing in mind, Barisic is out of contract in the summer as well, so that might be just a straight replacement. But
possibly, Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've also, just in the last couple of days, let Cifuentes go on loan to Brazilian side Cruzeiro for 12 months with an option to buy in the summer. He was set to go to Turkey apparently, but that fell through as he didn't fancy it. He's going out on loan for 6 months into a 4-year deal. He has said a few things in an interview with Rangers and on social media about struggling with the climate, and there was an apparent relationship breakdown as well. I think there's a player in there, we've seen it in the pre-season, but sometimes just in your personal life you can't settle down and things don't work out that way, and it does affect your playing, which is maybe what's happened in this case here.
Possibly, yep.
So I wish him well wherever he ends up, but I don't think you'll see him in a Rangers top again.
No, I agree. I think that's the last that we've seen of him. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that one. With him, exactly like you said, there was wee sort of glimpses of a good player in there, but it just didn't come to fruition for us. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Now for outgoings, apparently Ross Wilson and Nottingham Forest made a bid for Jack Butland. No official figure was given, but it was rumoured to be about £10 million. Double it and then we can maybe start talking. But Rangers issued a good old-fashioned hands-off notice to them and any clubs that were wanting to come from in this window. So really, really good to see Rangers doing the business in that case.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Clermont also confirmed that Alex Lowry returned to us with an injury. Hearts did apparently say that he had a knock, but they never said how bad it was. And it was so bad that he needs treatment and he can't go out on loan. So that kind of puts a scupper to his development.
Yeah, definitely,
What that means for the rest of his Rangers career, I don't know.
It's pretty unfortunate for him. Again, we've spoke about him many times on here. Definitely a great player. When he's on his game, we all thought it was a great move for him going to Hearts, but certain games he looked as if he was an outstanding player and he was going to be, he was going to flourish there, but he's came back and just very, very unfortunate for him that he's now injured. So I don't know how long that's going to set him back until he's actually back playing. Again, it's one of these things, so we'll just have to wait till the club updates us with that.
Yeah. So we finished the window arguably stronger than we started it, so that's a positive, but as I kind of mentioned on the tweet when we kind of heard that this was going to be it, I think it was underwhelming, kind of pish poor. We needed a couple of strikers at least, definitely one. If we could have got two, that would have been great, even if it was a short-term loan just for bodies, because as I've said, you get an injury to Dessers, then who are we left with?
Sorry, mate, I burst out laughing there, but my feelings on Dessers, and I know he's our only recognised striker, but going the last few games that I've seen of him and the chances that he's missed, I've been calling him for everything again. So I've got my strong feelings about the guy. I wouldn't have him anywhere near the team if we had another fit striker in there, but unfortunately we don't. We've only got Silva, who I don't think is an out-and-out striker, although I thought he played very well in the last game when he came on, but definitely a position that we need quite desperately at the moment, but he's definitely not the answer for me, Derek.
Well, I think you've made that point abundantly clear, Dave. I mean, Dave, the guy's done some good stuff, and especially his hold-up play as well, and he's had a few sclav shots, but I mean, Matondo in one of the games we're going to get into had the exact same issue where he just wouldn't bloody well shoot, and he had the exact same problem as Dessers had, and he never got on his back about it. So
I know Matondo's not a striker. He's no there to score goals for us. He's more there to be creative for us. And the amount of chances that a striker like him has for us, and straight misses and really poor misses for any half-decent striker, Derek. I'm sorry, it's just it doesn't do it for me at all. Not to say that I won't cheer the guy on, but it's definitely not the answer for me.
Just one last transfer issue here, nothing to do with us, but just quite an interesting one. Ryan Kent has been frozen out the Fenerbahce side, and he's not been getting his wages, apparently. He was set to go to Lazio on loan. He didn't want to go, apparently. He's now considering going to FIFA to try and sort this out. The Turkish window isn't closed yet either, so, he might still get a move, but just a daft move. I have no sympathy for him because it was a stupid move. How often do British players go over there and this kind of thing happens? And, we've got our own players as a testament to that. Kenny Miller, Chris Boyd, Kyle Lafferty, and also the fact that he downed tools for us in that last 6 months to year as well. No sympathy for him whatsoever. So anyway, into the games. The first game is Saturday the 27th of January. It was a 1-0 win away against St Mirren in the Premiership. A potential banana skin fixture, that one there, but we managed to go there and get out with the 3 points.
Yeah.
So we had 4 changes from the Hibs game. We lined up Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Ridvan, Lundstrom, Raskin, Sterling, Cantwell, Wright and Dessers. On the subs bench were McCrory, Silva, Jack, Lawrence, Matondo, Balogun, Barisic, Devine and McCausland. So the first half we were good until we scored. And then after, arguably the second best team, as we became very scrappy, we couldn't string a couple of passes together and we couldn't retain possession. Second minute, there was a shot from Lundstrom outside the box, comfortable for their keeper. And on the 14th minute, we went 1-0. Dave, who scored it?
It was Dessers. It was a good goal, Derek. It was a very good goal.
My God, I mean, timestamp this. Dave praises Dessers.
I wouldn't go so far as praise, but it was a good goal.
Yes, it was a long diagonal ball over the top of the defence from Lundstrom, from the halfway line as well, right to Dessers in the box, who calmly rounds the keeper with one touch and then puts it in the net with the second touch. Just outstanding from Lundstrom, but fantastic composure and a great finish from Dessers there.
Yep, was, and a great time for us to score as well, Derek, early on in the game, and I fully expected us to capitalise on that with us getting the early goal.
Yes, and we never. After that, St Mirren managed to get a wee bit more of the stranglehold of the game. On the 16th minute, it was a cross-in from St Mirren from the left, unorthodox half-volley and an overly dramatic dive from Butland, but you had to get it anyway. 20th minute, again, they had a cross from the left, knocked back down by their attacker, who laid it off in a shot over the bar. 21st minute, Tavernier with a shot, hits the outside of the left post and out, so unlucky that one there. 30th minute, St Mirren on the left, crossed in, it was controlled and then shot, and Butland saved with his legs at the near post. It was ruled offside in any case. To me, it was marginal, but it was just dangerous again. And once again, targeting that left side.
Yeah, you actually took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to come in there. I was about to say there's a common theme on the St Mirren attacks there. Every single one of them were going down the left-hand side. And that was really obvious in the first half, that we just weren't closing down their left wingers. We weren't doing it at all, and they were getting time and time again, they were getting the chance to put the ball into the box. So very, very dangerous.
Yep. 38th minute, a shot from St Mirren just outside the box, had Butland pull off a diving save on the right side to put it out for the corner. It did bounce right in front of him. It all stemmed from a kick out from the St Mirren keeper, which the player who ended up picking up the ball was offside, but nothing given. So you've got to deal with what's there, but once again, linesmen and referees not keeping up with the game.
Yep.
That's how the first half ended up. So concerning, because they had chances, probably better ones than we did overall. Into the second half, we made changes at half time. Wright and Cantwell off, McCausland and Lawrence on. 51st minute, we had a good dig in the final third to win back the ball a couple of times, ended on Lawrence shooting but went well wide. 53rd minute, us with a header over the bar from the back post after a cross in from the right. 54th minute, Dessers with his back to goal in the box, holding it up, looking for a pass but nothing on, turns and shoots. It takes a deflection, bobbles a couple of times, it beats the goalie, hits off the outside of the post and cleared. Really unlucky that there. And this is one of the things that Dessers is really good at, is his actual hold-up play, looking for that extra pass. And then he's got an ability to turn and shoot. Maybe he sclaffs it sometimes, but the actual ability to do that is there. Silence from Dave.
Yes, total silence. Again, I've spent enough time telling you my feelings about the guy, so bye. I'll let you continue.
58th minute, Raskin off and Jack on. 83rd minute, that just shows you nothing happened in the game of significance. Ridvan off and Barisic on. 85th minute, St Mirren with the last real chance of the game. They had a chance, ended up off the side netting after being cleared out by our defence, out for the corner. The resulting corner in from the right, headed back to the back post and off the bar and then cleared. Really living dangerously towards the end of the game there. Always the danger when you are only 1-0 up. Yes. And then the last piece of note I've got here is the 87th minute, Sterling off and Matondo on. So not the greatest of performances. It was perfunctory, fairly well defensively handled. I can't remember Butland having that much to do overall, but again, we weren't making their keeper make saves either. So at least it was the 3 points and up the road doors.
Exactly what you said right at the start, Derek. That was a potential banana skin. There's always going to be games like that away. St Mirren have been pretty good this season, and they've been excellent at home also. So that was a potential really tricky match for us. So if you'd have came to us before the game started to say, look, you're going to win 1-0, get the 3 points, and Butland's not going to be in that much bother. He might pull off a few saves. You would say, all right, we'll take it, because it is a potentially hard match, that one. So no, I was satisfied, a wee bit disappointed, like you said. I thought we might have been able to capitalise on the early goal, but wasn't to be. But thankfully, that one goal was enough to give us the 3 points in the end.
Yes. So the next game was Saturday the 3rd of February. It was a 3-0 win at home against Livingston in the Premiership. Now, I missed the game, and I've only seen the brief highlights because I was away at hospitality at another game there. Obviously, Rangers were doing a trial of moving the away fans to a club deck stand, so that meant we had the traditional away end to our own fans. Rather weirdly, we gave Livingston fans an £8 voucher for food and drinks at our kiosks as a thank you for moving seats to the club deck. I mean, really strange because it's our stadium. We get to decide where the away fans sit. So I didn't understand that one there. However, it may have been done because we knew how few Livingston fans were going to be travelling there, because apparently it was counted out in a media image and only 34 Livingston fans were in attendance. So it wouldn't have cost us that much at all. So, but just a bit strange we've done it. But Dave, you got to see the game and you've got the notes.
I do, yeah. So I've got quite a few changes to the game, and I quite like this, Derek, from Philip Clement. He obviously looks at his squad and he's content with the squad in full because he can make so many changes in the team and still manage to get them to play. So it is quite encouraging to see that. So, like I said, a few changes that the team that Clement put out is Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun and Barisic in the back four, Lundstrom, Jack, Cantwell in midfield, and McCausland, Matondo and Silva on the bench. McCrory, Ridvan, Suter, Dessers, Lawrence, Cortez getting his first start on the bench, Scott Wright, King and Raskin. So a really, really strong bench there, Derek. Every single one of the guys, you know, could go straight into the first team. So again, very, very promising. So with Celtic dropping points, it was imperative that we stayed focused on the game and got the win. That was, but you know, the most important thing here, and thankfully we did in the end. So in the 4th minute, first chance, McCausland into Jack on the edge of the box, a powerful shot saved by the keeper and out for a corner. 8th minute, great link-up play in the box, Silva to Matondo, he hits a sort of flick shot just over the bar, unlucky there. 14th minute, Barisic with a cross in, the keeper tried to grab it, the ball drops at the feet of Cantwell, but he just can't manage to get the ball down quick enough to get a shot, and too many Livingston bodies in the way and the ball was cleared. It was noticeable early on in the game, Derek, that Livingston were just going to pack their box. They weren't there to do any attacking whatsoever. There was so many bodies in the box every single time that we had an attack. So that's why I thought it could take some doing to break them down. The 18th minute, a fantastic move involving Cantwell. First time ball to Silva on the left wing. He backheels the ball to Matondo, who'd continued his run down the left-hand side into Lundstrom at the edge of the box. He had a shot just wide of the post. That'd have been one of the goals of the season if that had came off. Fantastic play. 22nd minute, though, an early sub for Rangers, and a forced one because Leon Balogun had to come off after a head knock. He rose up to win a header. Nasty clash of heads there. He was down but managed to walk off, and thankfully nothing too serious, but he had to come off at that time, and it was John Suter that had came on for him at that stage. So 25th minute, McCausland on the edge of the box, a curled shot just past the far post. Thought he'd going to score that one, it didn't there. But then, bit of controversy here, Derek, and I don't know if you've seen it back on the highlights or not, but a clear penalty to me. The ball was into Silva, and it looked as if it clearly came off the Livingston defender's arm before it got to him. But no even a VAR check for that one. So did you notice that one, Derek? Did you see that in any highlights?
I've never seen that part, no.
Clear to me that it came off the Livingston defender's arm. It looked unnatural, but no even a VAR check for that one. Very, very strange at that point. 30th minute, it really was all Rangers, but it really we couldn't get past the Livingston defence. Livingston keeper didn't really have much to do at that point, but it was something like 78% possession for us, but like I said, only 2 shots on target. And then a great chance, Cantwell on the right wing, he puts a cross into Matondo, he hits a snap shot and a great save by the Livingston keeper out for the corner. And from that corner was when we broke the deadlock, and the corner was whipped in from Tav. The ball falls to Goldson, he sticks his leg out, then the ball falls for Silva. He turns on the half volley with a slight deflection, and the ball goes in past the goalkeeper to make it 1-0 and give Silva his first goal for the club. So delighted for him, Derek, that he's off the mark.
Poacher's instinct, I think. I've only seen it once, but that's what I kind of got from it. Obviously, there was a long VAR check as well, because the leg stick out from Goldson was potentially a high boot, and the one angle I seen it wasn't conclusive if he actually connected with the defender or not. But you know, I think Dermot Gallagher said that it should have been chopped off. Obviously, VAR decided against it. Again, I've only seen it from one angle, but I don't know, Dave. What was your impression of that?
Again, a bit of both. I think it could have gone either way there. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, because obviously it was for us, but it's certainly, if it had been chopped off, you would have seen why. But obviously the referee and the people that were doing the VAR check didn't think it was as serious as that to get it chopped off. So thankfully the goal stood, and that put us 1-0 up. Now we thought it was going to stay like that, 1-0 at half time, but thankfully 2 minutes into the added time in the first half, we grabbed our second goal, and it was Matondo that scored. He receives the ball on the left wing, turns his man inside, turns him outside, sees there's a space, hits a low curling shot, which goes past the goalkeeper. Another wee nick, but I think it was going past him. Slight deflection. I think the ball was going in anyway. Fantastic play by Matondo and great finish as well, Derek.
You always love it when that kind of type of goal happens, but you hate it at the same time because it taking the deflection, so it does make you think, was it going to go in? Was the keeper going to get it? But I've said before, I don't care as long as they go in the back of the net.
Yeah, no, excellent. And to go in 2-0 up at half-time takes the pressure off. Not that Livingston had really tested us in any way, shape or form at that stage. So into the second half, 51st minute, Jack gets the ball on the edge of the box, turns his defender, but shoots just over the bar. And then 5 minutes after that, 56th minute, we get our third. Cantwell with the ball in midfield, out to McCausland. He gets the ball, runs in. Cantwell continues his run into the box. McCausland spots that, plays a simple low cross right in front of Cantwell, just a few inches off the penalty spot, and he just fires the ball simply past the goalkeeper. Simple stuff, but a great goal. Great start and finish by Cantwell, and that was a game over by that point. Excellent goal.
Yeah, pick of the bunch, I think, from that of what I've seen. Cantwell has really started to come onto a game now. I think that man management with him about taking him off at half time or even into the first half because he wasn't doing the job he was told. I think he's starting to learn now, and we are starting to see the Cantwell of old, the Cantwell we knew he could be all the time. So long may it continue.
Definitely. 61 minutes, that was the start of all the changes for Rangers. Jack, Barisic and Matondo off. Lawrence, Rudvan and a debut for Oscar Cortez at that stage. 66 minute, a corner for the left. Suter header at the near post, just past and out. Really unlucky there. 70th minute, McCausland on the right, beats his man, gets into the box. He has a low shot, which is saved by the keeper. Out to Cantwell. He puts the ball back into McCausland in the box with a snapshot, but a great save by the goalkeeper and out. Great awareness by Cantwell there again to notice that McCausland had continued his run. Really unlucky that didn't go in there. 72nd minute, Matondo on the left wing. A low ball to Silva in the box. With his back to goal, he tries to flick it up and have a shot and fires the ball just wide of the post. That would have been a great goal, but again, really unfortunate. And then another double sub for Rangers, Silva and McCausland off in the 76th minute, and Wright and Dessers on. 81st minute, Wright with a low cross to the back post to Cortez. He lays it off for Dessers, who balloons the ball over the bar for close range. That really should have been 4. Poor finishing. Still at 3-0 at that stage. 84th minute, fantastic long range strike by Rudvan. He hits the ball, it takes a dip at the last minute and comes crashing off the bar. Really, really unlucky he didn't score that one. That had been an absolute beautiful goal, but unfortunately it didn't come off. But that's how the game finished, Derek. Straightforward, professional, closing the gap on Celtic, and at that stage meaning we were 3 points behind with a game in hand, and that's all that we were wanting. And again, I keep saying it, professional, it's not that we're going out and steamrolling teams, Derek, and absolutely annihilate them constant, but it's constant pressure by us, and thankfully there we managed to get a few goals also, so absolutely delighted with the result in the end.
Yes, absolutely, can't ask for much more of that. It's always good when you're away and you don't see the game and you end up 3-0 winners. So.
So the moral of the story is, Derek, you're going to go out in the piss every single Saturday and miss the games. Is that what you're telling me?
If that would win Rangers the league, then absolutely. I might be getting a divorce, so we might need to put the podcast on hold. But
I know you've got to take the rough for the smooth, Derek. You know what I mean?
So it leaves us into the last game and arguably the most controversial of the three. It's Tuesday the 6th of February. It was a 2-1 win at home against Aberdeen in the Premiership. We made 4 changes from the Livingston game. We lined up Butland, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Ridvan, Lundstrom, Lawrence, Cantwell, Matondo, McCausland and Dessers. On the subs bench we had McCrory, Silva, Cortez, Stirling, Wright, Barisic, King, Raskin and Diomande. In the first half, footballing wise, in large parts, some of the best football I think we've played all season. Very quick, very incisive, not always coming off, but we were trying things differently. We were varying the way we were playing as well. Some of the play, yes, granted, it wasn't as great, but some of it was outstanding. In the 5th minute, it was a lovely move, working the ball from midfield into the box on the left, ending in Cantwell trying a cut-back pass that was intercepted, but it was nice one-touch triangle play all round though. And then we went a goal up on the 7th minute with Matondo scoring. It all started from Matondo being alert in midfield, robbing the midfielder of the ball. It was a pass to Cantwell who plays it across to McCausland on the right, who takes it inwards. The defender slips, he hits a shot, the keeper saves, spills to Matondo who gets the rebound from a tight angle. Brilliant. It wasn't the greatest of shots from McCausland, but at least he was having the effort, and it was probably poor from the keeper, but it's all about being alert by Matondo to pick up that spare ball.
Definitely, and as you've said many times, Derek, get a shot at goal because you don't know what's going to happen. And in that case, goalkeeper spilled it, and we were able to capitalise, and fair play to Matondo, being in the right place at the right time just to lash the ball into the back of the net. Great early goal, and as you say, the early pressure from us was really, really promising as well. So delighted that we were 1-0 up early on in the game.
Yes. 15th minute was a corner from the right, bounced off the ground and off the elbow of the defender. There was no VAR checks, I don't think, but it was a correct decision not to give a penalty anyway. It was a half claim, if you can call it that. 19th minute, it was a shot by Aberdeen at the near post on the left, comfortable take for Butland. 30th minute, a lovely sweep and move ending in Tav hitting the ball wide. 38th minute, a stunning ball down the left from Cantwell to Matondo, who gets the ball, cuts in, delays. And when he finally hits the ball, it was just blocked in time. Very similar to Dessers' chance against Celtic. And that's what I was saying about earlier on with the whole Dessers-Matondo thing that Dave doesn't talk about.
Yeah, but again, Matondo's a winger, Dessers is a striker. That's my argument, Derek.
Doesn't matter, he's getting in that position. 42nd minute, the ball knocked up to Dessers in the box with his back to goal again, who knocks it down for Matondo, who has a shot, and it was saved by the keeper. Great hold-up play, and it was a decent effort as well. And we were on the ascendancy at this point. You kind of thought something was coming. 44th minute, the ball on the deck, on the left to Ridvan, who plays a first-time cross to Dessers, who ends up with a shot but wide. And then, out of nothing, the masters of our own downfall, once again, Aberdeen made it 1 each on the 45th minute. Long ball over the top of our defence. Goldson out-muscled, and it was effectively tapped into the net. Butland, I'm not sure what he could have done there. Maybe got out a wee bit quicker, but there was always the risk of slipping, falling into the player, causing a penalty. You thought Goldson would have out-muscled him, but no, he got out-muscled. Granted, yes, Miovski did have a handful of his shirt, but that kind of thing goes on all the time, and it never prevented Goldson from getting the ball. So for me, it wasn't a foul, but it was just poor once again from Goldson. And as I said on the post-match, this is the same thing that he gets beaten time and time again. This is now the 4th manager we've seen the same type of goals he's costing us. Granted, it's not all on him, but he's the last line of defence. The ball get knocked over the top of him. He just cannot deal with it. And we cannot keep relying on Goldson doing this all the time. He can be so solid. There are lots of great points to his game. But when you're getting beat with the same things time and time again, this is what happens. And a lot of people give Aaron Ramsey a hard time for missing that penalty in the final. Players miss penalties, as we've seen. But the combination of Goldson and Tavernier at the back cost the goal to equalise in the first place. So, yeah, I'm still not over it, Dave. I'm still not
I know. I think a lot of that goal as well, Derek, was down to complacency. Aberdeen had done absolutely nothing in the game up until that point, and I don't know if Goldson was just a wee bit complacent there because they hadn't really had much to do. Miovski's been on fire in a very, very poor Aberdeen team, so they all knew how good a player he was, and so it was pretty dangerous for him to be kind of one-on-one with Goldson, but he just looked completely lost, like you said, and he managed to nip in. I don't think that Butland, who Derek will love, and he's absolutely outstanding, I think he maybe could have been a wee bit better positioned because he was quite far back when the ball was played over and bounced, so maybe a wee combination there, but certainly Goldson was completely caught out, and Aberdeen scored, and we can't say that it was deserved because we were by far the better team at that point.
Yeah, so no changes at half time. Aberdeen came out slightly better initially. On the 47th minute, they had a corner on the left, flicked on and cleared at the back post by Lundstrom, so that was quite dangerous. And then we started to get more on top of it. 49th minute, lovely hold-up play by Dessers, who passes to Cantwell, who feeds him back a great ball into the box. He tries a shot, but sclaffed wide and as he was put off by the defender. That was a piss-poor effort, I'll give you that one, Dave.
Yep.
51st minute, nice move, ending in a shot blasted well over the bar by Tavernier. 54th minute, Matondo with a shot after a good move, saved by the keeper. It rebounded out, and another shot, but it was saved by the keeper again. Might have been offside from the first shot in any case. 56th minute, Matondo and Dessers off, Silva and Cortez on. 63rd minute, a lot of pressure, ended in a cross from the left and a glancing backwards header by Silva just wide of the post. 66th minute, a corner from the right, not cleared. Lawrence with a shot blocked by the defender, rebounds back to him, and there's another shot which is blocked by the keeper's legs and then cleared again. Really unlucky that there. And at this point, we were just absolutely pounding them.
Yes.
We were by far on top. You could see something was starting to materialise, and you kind of seen it coming. At that point, as I said, I was thinking of things when you're doing podcasts. I don't know about you, Dave, but I'm thinking of what I can say about how the game's going. And I could genuinely not fault the team at all for the effort, because we're putting in stuff, we're trying, we're giving it our all. We just couldn't find that last wee bit, which again is the name of the game ultimately. But the effort was there and the endeavour was there. However, on the 72nd minute, I didn't need to think like that because Cantwell made it 2-1. Silva picks up the ball in the middle near the Aberdeen box. It was a strong challenge by the defender and we lost the ball. But Lawrence picks up the ball, has an absolute thunder bastard from 25 yards, forcing the keeper into a good save. But Cantwell gets the jump on the defender, alert as hell, and he shoots the rebound into the back of the net. Brilliant.
Aye, brilliant. And we can't say any more superlatives about Cantwell. You try and teach this to boys for a young age, when you're coaching, to follow the ball in constantly. But Cantwell has got instinctively knows if there's going to be a shot, he's going to be in the right place at the right time to get the rebound, and he was there. It was perfect. It was a fantastic shot, but Lawrence actually thought he'd scored when he hit it. He hit it really cleanly. It was a great save by the goalkeeper, but as I say, Cantwell's awareness, right place at the right time, fires it past the goalkeeper, and Ibrox just went absolutely ballistic. It was great to see, Derek. It was great. And I know you were saying there that you were thinking about things to say if we were going to drop points. I honestly never thought about that in the whole game, because I just had a feeling that we were still going to win the game. And I've had that a lot this season. And trust me, I've not had that for many, many years, where I've been confident, even, when there's not been a lot of time left, that we're going to win. And I certainly did the other night. And I just think it's fantastic that we've got this mentality in the team just now, and delighted that we scored. And you saw the whole team, you saw what it meant to all of them for us to get that second goal. I was absolutely delighted. Superb stuff.
Yes, that was the last thing Lawrence done, because he came off a couple of minutes later. On the 74th minute, Sterling came on. 85th minute, Cantwell off and Diomande on. We really just had to see out the game at this point. 87th minute was a quick break by Aberdeen down the left, gets a cross in on the deck, and Miovski tries a back heel flick, but no power in it, and an easy take for Butland. 88th minute though, moment of controversy, because Sterling was given a straight red card. He was about to put the challenge in, he pulled out of it, he slid, his foot did connect with the ankle, but he was in the process of putting his foot down ultimately. There was a long VAR check, he went to the screen, and he still ends up sending him off. Dave, I'm at a loss with this one here, because he slid in, he slipped, he connected with his big toe, his foot was down, it wasn't reckless, it wasn't dangerous, because ultimately a straight red card that's what's saying it was. He did come in with pace. Now I think that's what ultimately is maybe swayed something. But for the referee to straight away deem that a red card when he was very lacklustre about giving yellow cards out, we'll get into something in a second, for him to give a straight red card straight away, I think his view was partially obscured with it when I've looked back as well. For him to then be told by the VAR technicians to, you maybe better go and check the screen, he's had a look at several angles, and for him to still say, no, I'm sticking with my guns here, I'm sending him off, that is nothing but scandalous.
In my opinion, Derek, he was the only person that saw the replay as well and still thought that it was a red card. Every single person that viewed that said as soon as VAR intervened and he went to look at it, that will show that it's not a red card. Every single pundit said it on the commentary of the game. Everybody that watched it said it also. Yellow card, maybe because of the pace of it, you would give a yellow card out there. But for a straight red card, I'm still lost as to why he came up with that decision to do so. But again, even more baffled that VAR intervened, told him to have another look at it, and he still came up with that decision. Quite incredible, and I still don't know why that happened, Derek. I'm trying to think of another instance where that's happened before, where VAR's intervened and told the referee to go and look at a decision like a red card, and it's not usually been brought back, but it wasn't this time, and it should never have been a red card, 100%.
Just diabolical, it really was. I mean, the thing is as well, Duke had not long came on the park for Aberdeen, and he got a yellow card for elbowing, I think it was Goldson, in the face. Now, I'll take a lot of people saying that was a straight red card, and I have seen them as given as a red card. I've also seen them given as a yellow, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. It was a yellow card. However, less than a minute later, he's literally pulled one of our players back to stop the break happening. So that should be an automatic yellow card and a sending off. He's never done that. Just absolutely baffling from the referee. Now, we appealed this. We confirmed we were doing that the day after. The hearing was on Thursday there. And surprise, surprise, the appeal was rejected. That is just absolute fucking nonsense. And also the fact as well, St Mirren had a very similar straight red card as well. And they appealed it. And they got theirs thrown out also as well. And that was probably even less of a red card than Sterling's was.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on. I really don't. I mean, VAR, we've said it all along, VAR is good, VAR works. But when you've got the same clowns that are refereeing games that are doing the VAR, and then you've got referees checking VAR and still dismissing VAR, what's the point, Dave? What is the point?
100%, because the VAR, when the decision came in for VAR for him to review it, that straight away is a warning to say, look, we think you've got this decision wrong. But he chose to keep with his original decision, which was incredible. And even so, the fact that the appeal has been, upheld as well is quite incredible also. So you give up sometimes, Derek, don't you? And say that time and time again. And I hate to repeat what you're saying, but VAR is something that we should be utilising, but when you've got people there that are not utilising it correctly, what is the point in it being there?
Yeah. And then after all that, they got 8 minutes injury time. I mean, at this point, I was saying they're fucking at it, the referees now, because ultimately I think they got 3 minutes injury time in the first half when there was a couple of head knocks and a long delays for that. They only got 3 minutes, yet they got 8 minutes out of this half.
Yes, incredible.
91st minute, there was a shot by Aberdeen and a good block by Butland. And then there was a bit of a scrum. The Sky panel after the game, though, in this scrum were an absolute disgrace. They went over the incident ad nauseum, pure raging that no penalty was given for a handball for 2 instants, where the ball being headed off Goldson's arm from about a yard away, and then in the resulting kind of stramash, it hit off the underside of Goldson's supporting arm as he was falling to the ground. I mean, only Boyd was there saying that it wasn't a penalty. He was 3 against 1 at this point. So fair play to Chris Boyd for sticking to his guns with that one there. But if you think that they were penalties, then you really need to give your head a swivel. I mean, you're just showing your pure bias there if you think that they were penalties. From a yard out, you cannot get a handball from it being hit off your arm from a yard out. And then the rules changed when your supporting arm hits the ball as you're falling down. It's not a penalty. So just absolutely crazy. And not only that, it ended up being 9 minutes of injury time after it all. So what was even worse, though, in the 92nd minute, there was pretty much the same tackle on Silva as what happened with Sterling, and only a yellow card was given.
Yes, yep.
Nobody would have argued with a yellow card for Sterling, but how can you give a red card for him and a yellow card for the exact same foul?
Just 100%, yep.
And it made the game very nervy towards the end, but we still saw it out. We got the 3 points. Some great game management towards the end as well. So delighted with that.
It was, and again, I just seem to be a lot calmer about games these days, Derek, because although all of that happened and all the added time and Aberdeen were putting us under a bit of pressure, I genuinely felt that we were going to win the game. As soon as we got that second goal, I just had that, and I'm hoping that my sort of confidence in the way I'm feeling is how the players are feeling also, and it seems to be like that. And we've not had that in a very, very long time, which I think is just fantastic. That's why I'm actually enjoying the games just now, Derek. I'm enjoying us, even the slender victories, because there is this sort of air of confidence there, and it's great to see.
Yeah, I'm not as nervous going into the end of the games now when it's like that. So, yeah. But anyway.
Which is huge considering what we've been watching over the past few seasons, Derek. That's massive, and that shows you what the manager has instilled in the team, and it is shown with the fans as well, because again, I think the fans are in sync with the team a lot more also just now, and feeling confident, and it is fantastic to see. And I'm going to the game tomorrow, and I'm so looking forward to it. So it's really, really good to now, and long may it continue.
Yes. So in the table, we've played 24, we've won 19, drawn 1, lost 4, scored 50 goals, conceded 12, goal difference plus 38, and we're on 58 points. Because of Celtic's slip-ups, we're only 3 behind them now with a game in hand, and we've only 2 goals behind in goal difference. So massive that one there. 10 ahead of Hearts as well with a game in hand over them. I mean, that shows you how well Hearts have actually done the work.
No, they are. Hearts are playing excellent, but going back to us, Derek, going from when Philip Clement has took over, that is quite an incredible, phenomenal record that he's put together with the wins. For us to claw this back and potentially, I'm not going to count my chickens until they're hatched, but for us, if we win our game in hand by more than 2 goals, for us to then go top of the league, that is quite sensational stuff, Derek, and I'm absolutely delighted. I'm delighted in the manager. I'm delighted that it looks as if we've got the right man at the helm. I said it in the last pod, but that's a phenomenal transformation, isn't it?
It's nothing short of unbelievable. I mean, what he's done. I mean, he did joke about not having a magic wand. That he clearly has, because he's instilled something in the players that were failing and they were refusing to play. He's instilled something in them that there's a belief in them, and you can see that in his man management. And I've said that in the last podcast. Sometimes it's not about the quality of the team. Sometimes it's about man management. You've seen that in Walter's second spell with the way he got a team of largely average players, good to average players, to a European final. It just shows you what you can do with a bit of man management. But anyway, there's still a lot of football to play. So as you said, not counting chickens yet.
No.
Next game, which will be tonight by the time this comes out, Saturday the 10th of February, it's at home to Ayr United in the Scottish Cup Round 5. It's a 17:30 kickoff. Willie Collum has been appointed the ref, so I am more concerned about that than I am about Ayr United, actually.
I'll pass on your regards to him when I'm there, Derek, if I get the chance.
Yes, just don't get yourself arrested then, if that's the case. A bit of a strange one, though. The draw for the next round is at 5 p.m. on the Sunday before the Hearts and Airdrie game kicks off. So a bit of a strange time in that for the draw. But anyway, one team that won't be in it is Motherwell, because they lost 2-1 to Greenock Morton tonight. So
that's just occurred just as we recorded the pod, so that's a first bit of giant killing, but here's hoping that there's no another bit of giant killing at Ibrox tomorrow.
Yes. Next game is our game in hand, Wednesday the 14th of February. It's away to Ross County in the Premiership. That's the 19:45 kick-off. So anybody who has got Valentine's Day plans, I hope you're cancelling them for that game. Sunday the 18th of February, away to St Johnstone in the Premiership. That's a midday kick-off. Saturday the 24th of February, at home to Hearts in the Premiership. That's a 3 o'clock kick-off. And to round out February, Wednesday the 28th of February, away to Kilmarnock in the Premiership. That's a 19:45 kick-off. So, a lot of games to play. I can't believe there's only 14 games left in the Premiership, Dave.
Yeah, I know, Derek. It is going fast, but great to be in this position just now. We're repeating ourselves again, but if you'd have said to us when Clermont first came in that we would be in this position with a chance to actually go top, we would never have believed you. So absolutely fantastic. Long may it continue. Take one game at a time, but we do seem to have a wee stretchy games where a lot of them are at home. So I'm really hoping that we keep going and get 3 points for every game and really put the pressure on them. So fingers crossed.
Yes. So now we'll go into the news. So a few bits and pieces to cover as ever. It would be remiss of me if I never started off with news from Dapul Mabudi. He's given a brief update on his condition after his car crash, and he said, "I appreciate everyone's concern for me after the accident. I am happy that I was able to leave hospital and I am gradually on the road to recovery. I hope to return soon." So not a great update on his condition there, but certainly I'm glad he is certainly alive anyway. That's the main thing.
Yep.
And hopefully he gets back to full fitness and he can return to football.
Definitely,
Yep. Next thing, Clermont was announced Manager of the Month for January, so absolutely well deserved that one given the results we've had.
Yep, fantastic. We've summarised it there in the matches, how well he's done, and thoroughly deserved.
Yes. Next thing, the inaugural Fans Advisory Board meeting took place. I summarised minutes of that meeting are up on the Rangers website. It's kind of all what we've heard previously in the quarterly engagement meetings that have been happening. As much as it may be overkill, at least there's a consistency of message coming out of the club on certain subjects, and it looks as if they're going to be followed up on a regular basis between these and the quarterly meetings, and they're not just going to be sound bites never to be heard again, which you so often see, especially with ourselves. Next meeting is going to with the advisory board is going to be on the 4th of March, so I believe the next engagement meeting with the fans will be before then. So it'll be a few advisory board meetings before we see the substance and see what differences between the two engagement processes are, but it's good that we're on this track now. I still have my reservations about the fan advisory board, as I said, but we'll see if anything of substance comes from it in due course.
Yep, fingers crossed.
Next thing, we have now officially announced SeatGeek as the official ticketing platform starting for the season ticket renewals for next season. So that's a massive one there, because the club are fully aware that the ticketing situation can't continue as it were. We're a massive club. We cannot have this same shoddy practice for tickets. Just buying a regular ticket for a game is an absolute pain. And so, we're going to be in good company, because apparently SeatGeek, hosts Man City tickets and Liverpool tickets as well. So hopefully it'll be a seamless and smooth journey as we go on with that one.
I definitely does sound promising, Derek, and fingers crossed, just like you said, it's seamless, it's easy to use, and we can get the full use out of their facilities, and everything runs smoothly for all the fans that are using it, so fingers crossed.
Yes. Next thing, we announced that Kellogg's is going to be our official breakfast partner. I mean, who even knew we needed one of those, Dave?
Exactly.
I mean, can't complain. It's a big brand, so it's more money in and more advertising, etc. I mean, I just laugh at the image of Broxy Bear and Coco thinking what's going through the two people that are in those suits in the dressing room getting their picture taken. It's quite a funny image. But it also got the Orcs absolutely raging to claim that they're going to boycott Kellogg's from now on. only for a day later Celtic to announce a similar
Exactly.
absolute fannies.
Hilarious. No, as you say, Derek, there, a recognisable global brand. So to be, to be connected with them with a sponsorship deal can only be a good thing. So, not pleased with that one.
Yes. So next thing, Dave, I've left this to last in the news because it's a pretty major one, is that Rangers and 5 other Premiership clubs have slammed the SPFL in a letter, an open letter to the SPFL chairman and the SPFL executive. It all stems from the alleged independent investigation into the governance of our game. Now, Murdo McLennan received the report one day, and the next day, in fact, even it was probably the same day, he was out in the media giving it big licks, saying that, nothing to worry about, everything's fine, a couple of wee recommendations, but we are very diverse and we've got a great range of talent. And Dave, we mentioned it on the last podcast and we pissed ourselves laughing at that one. So it turns out that it's not all what he says it is. So in a joint statement, Rangers, Aberdeen, St Johnstone, St Mirren, Motherwell and Livingston voiced the serious concerns. They went on to say in the letter, on behalf of the SPFL Premiership clubs, Aberdeen, blah, 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 all the clubs, a letter was today issued to the SPFL executive in response to the handling of recent independence governance report. The clubs hold serious concerns regarding the report's independence, transparency and overall governance of the SPFL. The letter seeks full clarity on numerous issues so that the clubs, as the shareholders of the SPFL, can determine if further action is necessary. In conjunction with the draft report being made available to the SPFL board, SPFL chairman Murdo McLennan hastily released a statement that did not reflect the full findings of the report. Additionally, the statement was issued without the approval or knowledge of members of the SPFL board or SPFL member clubs. The SPFL board is to meet at a future date to discuss the draft report's contents, making it highly inappropriate for the SPFL chairman to have made any public comment ahead of that meeting. Regarding the report itself, the clubs and others are deeply concerned about its independence, given that the SPFL executive received the first draft of the report and made changes to it prior to sending it to the SPFL board members. Of the 42 member clubs, only one had the opportunity to input into the report's investigation outside of the current or previous board members. Despite several requests from the clubs, the report has yet to be released to any of the member clubs, despite the clubs footing the bill for its creation. The handling of this independence governance report has brought the club's governance concerns to a head and is now incumbent on the SPFL board and executive, for the sake of the trust in those running our game, to provide clarity over these clear and deeply troubling concerns as a matter of urgency. Where the fuck do you start with that one, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, it looks to me as if things have been changed very, very quickly without the knowledge of quite a lot of the members of the SPFL from that original investigation. Is that what you're taking from it, like what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it looks as if it should have been discussed with the SPFL board. Now, obviously, the SPFL board consists of, I think, about 12 CEOs or chairmen of the 42 member clubs. Rangers and Celtic alternate every 2 years, I think it is. So it's our turn just now. So on the fact that only one club were allowed to input into the investigation, into the report, well, it's not going to be Celtic because it says that previous or current board members, so it's not Celtic. I fail to see who this club could be. Why not just announce who it was? They've marked their own homework by changing stuff.
Yep.
They've issued statements before anybody's been able to see it. There's 42 clubs in total that are effectively paying for it, so they should see the report itself. Tonight, another SPFL side, Stenhousemuir, has came out and slammed the report as well. They've issued a lengthy statement basically slamming them. It all started because of the SPFL's stupidity in going down the legal process with Rangers when they knew they couldn't win that thing with the whole cinch thing. Obviously, they've went on to say that they've had the SPFL, or because of that, SPFL have to apologise to Rangers, pay compensation and legal costs, and admit they got it wrong. Well, Stenhousemuir want to know, well, that's cost all the clubs money now because of that. So they're deeply concerned about it. The SPFL tonight have hit back with another stupid, woolly, parish church statement saying that there's factual inaccuracies with what the letter says. They've addressed the points and then they'll get back to us at the meeting. I mean, It's just an absolute farce. We all know what the problem is here. Murdo McLennan has got a conflict of interest. It was highlighted years ago, but no. Everything was told, oh no, there's no conflict of interest at all. He's not in dread with Celtic or Peter Lawwell. No, I'm sorry. The SPFL for a number of years now have been for the benefit of one club only. It's as simple as that. I know you could turn around and say I'm looking at that through blue tinted specs, but you look at the litany of things I think I've said in maybe the last podcast or the podcast before. I could go into it again, Dave, but there's just a litany of things that just do not ring true to being an even-handed thing across all 42 clubs. It's for the benefit of one club only, and we know that now. There's irrefutable proof of that, Dave.
There's decisions that are made every single season, Derek, which are absolutely baffling in any other world or business or anything like that. These things wouldn't stand. You know, even in other footballing nations, you know, some of the baffling decisions that are made by the powers that be would never ever stand in any other country apart from here. And we've got reams and reams of incidents that have happened in the past that we can, you know, as you quite rightly say, are only there to benefit one club. It's quite incredible, and we could go into it. We've spoke about it numerous times before, but hopefully, finally now, Derek, all the rest of the teams are now actually going to open their mouths. They've had their eyes opened here as well as to everything that's going on, all the inconsistencies that have happened with this report. And here's hoping there's more clubs now do what Stennismuir have done and speak out for it, because I think what Stennismuir are more unhappy about is they've said to themselves that the SPFL knew that they were never going to win the legal battle against Rangers, but they went ahead with it anyway, and they could have saved it all, and they obviously knew that was going to happen. So here's hoping that this is now the start of the floodgates for the rest of the clubs to become involved and ask a lot of questions. That's all we can hope for, because it's been a long time coming.
Sounds like a corrupt political party in this country, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, it was a few years ago now, but ex-St Mirren chief Stuart Gilmer even came out and said Peter Lawwell runs Scottish football. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out. I mean, obviously, I think we're waiting for the next board meeting now, but I mean, it's not a good look when 50% of the top league clubs have wrote an open letter basically saying, no, we're not happy with the way you're running it. And then you've got another club that are publicly coming out. So these are clubs that have publicly came out. And is there any clubs that are not publicly coming out and have the same concerns? I think they need to make it public now.
Yes, definitely.
People always blame Rangers and Celtic for ruining the Scottish game, and everything's all for the benefit of us. There are going to be things in the Scottish League that are going to be dictated by Rangers and Celtic, and that is just going to be the way it is. We're the two biggest clubs. We are the ones that bring ultimately the money in. You've seen from the money we're bringing in from Europe alone, because of what we've done in Europe over the last couple of years. All the clubs are benefiting from that. The TV deal, yes, there's absolutely faults in it, but the only reason why we've got a TV deal of worth of anything at all is because of Rangers and Celtic. But this is not the point. This is going down to why are they try to cover up something here, because it's quite clear that there's something amiss with this. We'll just need to wait and see how this pans out, but it cannot go on any longer because there's decisions that are being made to the detriment of our game. I mean, the TV deal alone, the fact that when there's still several years still left to go of the TV deal, and they go and tie us up into a TV deal into 2029 without going to putting it to tender, I mean, that alone should get the sacking. So, I don't know, Dave.
I think, Derek, it is quite encouraging now that clubs are publicly speaking out now. And like I said, we can only hope that more and more clubs now speak out, because that's what is needed now. We need the vast majority of the clubs to now come out and demand answers here. So here's hoping that that's the start of things to come.
Yes. So, unfortunately, I don't have any stories this week, Dave. They've all been pretty tame, so there's nothing that's tickled my fancy. So do without.
I think the story that you had in our last podcast was so good. I was still laughing about that about half an hour after you read it. So we'll let you off for this one pod that you've not been able to find anything suitable.
So, yes, it's been an enjoyable few games. Certainly, long may it continue, because it's actually exciting watching us just now, as long as we get the results, obviously, as well. But, I've got full faith in the team, because, Clement has turned everything around.
Yeah, it has, Derek. I mean, and it's not just certain players. It seems to be the whole squad. It seems to be no matter who he puts into the team, they are going out giving 100% for him. And he able to change it with how strong the bench is getting now as well, and everybody that's taking part in the games are making a difference to the team, and you can't ask for more than that. It's just been a stunning turnaround, and long may it continue.
So, all that's left to say is thanks for listening and goodbye.
Okay, take care, folks. Bye-bye.
And the stadium erupts in red, white and blue. You've never seen anything like it.
Let's go.
Manchester, brace yourself.